Hello everybody, hope all of you are well. Today I will continue your organic chemistry chapter, the last portion. Okay, last day we have discussed resonance. Today we will discuss hyperconjugation. Hyperconjugation is also called no bond resonance. This is another kind of resonance or delocalization which takes place through overlap between a sigma orbital and a p orbital or a pi orbital, as shown in the case of propene. I am showing the case. So this is propene. Okay. Now this position is called alpha, and these hydrogens are called alpha hydrogen. And this is sigma bond, and this is pi bond. The sigma and pi or p orbital combination, and we will get structure like this. This structure 1. As there is 3 alpha, then there will be 3 structure. Next, another structure will be like this. Sorry, this will be the negative. And this will be the double bond. Okay. This structure 1, structure 2, and this will be the structure 3. So for 3 alpha hydrogen, there will be 3 hyperconjugative structure. So the structure 1 to 3 are called hyperconjugative structures, since there is no bond between the carbon and this hydrogen. Okay, so this carbon and hydrogen. Okay, so that is why this is called no bond resonance. Okay, and this effect is also called Baker-Nathan effect or anchimeric assistance, and the free proton is still bounded quite firmly to the pi electron cloud, and thus it is not free to move. This proton is not free. Okay, gradually if we increase the number of alpha hydrogen in case of a particular compound, so the hyperconjugative structure will increase, and greater is the number of the alpha hydrogens, greater will be the number of hyperconjugative structures. So if we write this compound, okay, if we write this compound, it has 4 methyl group. So these are the alpha hydrogens. So total number of alpha hydrogen will be 12. Okay, but in case of butene, trans-butene, so here the alpha hydrogen will be how many? This one is the alpha, this one is the alpha carbon. So the hydrogen attached to this carbon alpha hydrogen. So total 6 alpha hydrogen. So in this case we will get 12 structure, and in this case we will get the 6 hyperconjugative structures. Hope you can understand. Next we will discuss the types of hyperconjugation. There are 2 types of hyperconjugation. One is called sacrificial hyperconjugation, another is called isovalent hyperconjugation. In case the number of covalent bonds in the contributing structures during hyperconjugation is less than the number of covalent bonds in the original molecule, then hyperconjugation is called sacrificial hyperconjugation. Okay, here we can give the example of protein. If we draw the hyperconjugative structures, then you can understand. So here total number of covalent bonds will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 covalent bonds. And in this structure 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 covalent bonds. So one covalent bond is sacrificed for this hyperconjugation. Okay, that is why this type of hyperconjugation is called sacrificial hyperconjugation. On the other hand, if the number of covalent bond in the contributing structure is same, then the number of covalent bonds in the original molecule, then the hyperconjugation is known as isovalent hyperconjugation. If we give one example in case of cation, then you can understand. The cationic hyperconjugation, it will go here. Okay, here you will also see, because of 3 alpha hydrogen you will get 3 hyperconjugative structures. So here we can give you that the number of alpha, see here total number of covalent bond will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 covalent bond. Here also if you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 covalent bond. So here one sigma bond breaks and another pi bond is formed. That is why the total number of bonds in the original molecule and the hyperconjugate is same. That is why this is called isovalent hyperconjugation. Hyperconjugation effect is much weaker effect compared to the resonance effect. Okay, and hyperconjugation can explain the stability of alkene. Lower the heat of hydrogenation, greater will be the stability. Okay, on the basis of the heat of hydrogenation values, it has been found that greater the number of alkyl groups attached to the double bonded carbon atom, greater will be the stability. Here I can give you one example. Suppose this one is the most substituted alkene group, and the name of the compound will be 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3 dimethyl butene. So in this case, it is the most substituted. Okay, definitely its heat of hydrogenation will be less, and it will be the most stable alkene. But if we take this one, that is cis-butene, here number of alpha hyperconjugated structure will be less, as well as number of alkyl group is less. So definitely it will be the less stable. Okay, because there will be only 6 alpha hydrogens and its heat of hydrogenation value will be high. Okay, and next we will discuss in case of aromatic system. If in aromatic system we attach one methyl group, there also possibility of hyperconjugation because of the double bond. This one is toluene. Here this alpha, this carbon is alpha carbon, so this will take part in the hyperconjugation in this way. So because of this 3 alpha hydrogen, we will get 6 structures. Okay, so here also this thing is possible. But if we calculate here the number of alpha hydrogen or hyperconjugated structure, that will be the 3 alpha hydrogen. But if we add one more alkyl group here, then the number of alpha hydrogen will be less, that is 2 alpha hydrogen. So here number of hyperconjugated structure will be 2, but if we add one more alkyl group here to this carbon, then there will be 1 alpha hydrogen. If we add another more alkyl group, definitely the number of alpha hydrogen will be 0. Alpha hydrogen 1, here alpha hydrogen will be 0. So from here you can easily understand that alkyl groups behave differently when attached to benzene ring to carbon-carbon double bond in the electron releasing effect of methyl group, and the electron releasing effect of methyl group is maximum and that of the tertiary butyl group is minimum. So here actually we know that the alkyl group, this methyl group, okay, if we increase the number of alkyl group, inductive effect will be high. But in this case, what is happening? If we increase the alkyl group on this carbon atom, the hyperconjugated structures is minimum. Okay, so the electron releasing effect of methyl group is maximum, and that of the tertiary butyl group, the electron releasing effect is minimum. Next, hyperconjugation shorten a carbon-carbon single bond adjacent to the multiple bond. Actually, that single bond is converting into double bond. That is why it becomes shortened. Okay, length will be decreased. And relative stability of the free radical and carbocation, okay, or we can tell carbanium ions, we can explain by hyperconjugation. Like this one, tertiary carbocation is more stable compared to the secondary carbocation. Compared to the primary carbocation, then methyl carbocation. Okay, so here number of alpha hydrogen will be the 9. Here the number of alpha hydrogen will be 6. Here number of alpha hydrogen will be the 3. Here number of alpha hydrogen will be the 0. So as there is more hyperconjugated structure, then tertiary carbocation, the 3 degree carbocation will be more stable compared to the 2 degree. And here 6 alpha hydrogens are there, so definitely the secondary carbocation will be more stable, okay, compared to the primary. This is the primary. Here number of alpha is 6, and here 3 alpha hydrogen is there, so it will be more stable than this methyl carbocation. Hope you can understand. So in this way we can define the stability, as well as in case of radical also there will be hyperconjugation. This is radical, okay. So here will be also hyperconjugation like this. Okay, this type of hyperconjugation will be there. So you can explain the radical stability. Here total 9 alpha hydrogen is there. Definitely 3 degree radical, okay, will be more stable compared to the 2 degree. Then compared to the 1 degree, then only methyl radical. So stability decreases as the number of alpha hydrogen decreases. Okay, hope you can understand. So we have completed our organic portion. Okay, and next I am discussing. I think our Miss already discussed this portion. Again, I am discussing very little. Okay, that fission of a covalent bond. Covalent bond. Fission may be 2 types. One is homolytic fission, another is called heterolytic fission. Okay. Suppose if we think about this chlorine-chlorine bond, if you give H nu or if you give heat, then because electronegativity of 2 chlorine atom is same, so the bonding pair electron will be equally distributed, and there will be only shifting of 1 electron in each atom. So there will be formation of 2 Cl dot. These are called free radicals. Okay, and this type of cleavage is called homolytic bond cleavage. So if the shared pair of electron distributed equally between 2 bonded atoms, the bond fission is known as homolytic bond cleavage. Okay, but if there is heterolytic bond, because suppose there is 2 different atoms, suppose B is more electronegative, then what will happen? So definitely there will be sharing pair electron will be attracted by that B atom. Okay, will be attracted by B atom. We know that the electronegativity concept, that if B is more electronegative, it will attract the bonding pair electron towards itself. So definitely in this case there will be heterolytic division of this cleavage of this bond. Okay, and you will get this heterolytic cleavage. Heterolytic cleavage. It will become A plus and B minus as B is more electric. We can think about the HCl molecule. When you dissolve HCl in water, H will become H plus and Cl will become Cl minus. If the shared paired electron is distributed unequally between the two bonded atoms, then the bond fission is known as the heterolytic bond fission. Next, for charge species having positive charge on carbon is known as carbanium ions or carbocations. Okay, and those having the negative charge of as carbon, okay, but on carbon they are called carbanions. But don't say that on positive charge on carbon, these are electron deficient having 6 electron, the carbonium, it is carbanium. Okay, but in case of amine you will write like NH4 plus ammonium. Okay, so there you can write onium. But in case of more than one valency, that if the carbon has more than 4 valency, that then you can write that onium, carbonium. You can take the example of that CH5 plus. Okay, CH5 plus you can write that carbonium. Otherwise CH3 plus, where the number of electron around the carbon is 6. Okay, then you will tell that carbanium ion. Okay. Next we will discuss the reagent and substrate. The starting material or the compounds undergoing a chemical reactions are termed as reactant. Reactants further classified into two categories: reagents, another is substrate. In general, reagent is more reactive, okay, while the substrate is the less reactive. Now, the type of reagents. There are generally 3 types of reagents. Okay, one we can write free radicals. We are discussing reagents. Free radicals. Okay, and next we can write that electrophile. Another we can write nucleophile. Next we will discuss one by one that what is free radical. A free radical is an atom or group of atoms having an odd or unpaired electron. Free radicals are formed in organic reactions when the type of the cleavage of bond is homolytic, and free radicals are denoted by putting a dot with the symbol of atom or group of atoms like that H dot, Cl dot, CH3 dot. These are called free radicals. Stability of free radicals can be explained by hyperconjugation, just now I have discussed, on the basis of the inductive effect. In case of tertiary radical, that CH3 whole 3 dot, that is also stabilized by the Plaza effect of the methyl group. Okay. Now, alkyl and benzyl free radicals are stable because of resonance. Okay. And the overall stability order, we can tell that triphenyl methyl radical is most stable, then it will come benzyl, then allyl, then 3 degree and 2 degree, then 1 degree, then methyl, vinyl. Okay, in this way you have to remember the stability order of the free radical. If we draw the free radical of allyl, then it will be stabilized by resonance like this way. Shifting of electron, 1 electron always we have to show by Fizeau arrow, like this. Okay. So, generally free radicals are very much reactive and unstable and cannot be isolated. However, some of them have been recently isolated, and one such example is 2,4,6 tritertiary butyl phenoxyl radical, like this. This free radical is isolated. Okay. Now free radicals are generally electrically neutral and they are paramagnetic due to presence of unpaired electrons, and they are highly unstable, and the mutual combination of free radical forms a neutral compound. I can show you that suppose there is CH3 dot, okay, it can combine with another CH3 dot, will form a neutral compound C2H6. Okay, the free radicals are highly reactive, they will combine each other and form the neutral compound. Next we will discuss electrophile. Electrophile means electron loving species. So these are the reagents having an atom which is deficient in electrons. Okay, so they are electron loving species. Generally two types of electrophiles are there. One will be positive electrophile, another will be neutral electrophile. Positive electrophile, we can give the example like NO2 plus. Okay, we can write that Cl plus, we can write NO plus, we can write HCO plus or H plus. Okay, these are the positive electrophiles. And neutral electrophile, we can write BF3, AlCl3, okay, and sulfur trioxide, ferric chloride, etc. Okay. Now nucleophiles are negatively charged or electron rich species. Nucleophiles are nuclear loving species. There are generally two types of nucleophile. One is negatively charged nucleophile, another is neutral nucleophiles. Negatively charged nucleophiles are like OH minus, SH minus, Cn minus, like this. Okay, and neutral nucleophiles, we can think about NH2, we can think about water, we can think about ROH, okay, containing lone pair of electrons. Definitely neutral nucleophile should contain the lone pair of electrons. Okay, so in the light of Lewis concept, we can tell that electrophiles are Lewis acid and accepts an electron pair, and a nucleophile is a Lewis base which donates the electron pair. Next we will discuss the reactive intermediates in a reaction. Reaction intermediates are the species which are originally not present in the initial reactants as well as in the final products. They get formed during one step in a reaction and immediately get consumed in the next step. So we can think about the SN1 reaction. Okay, here in the first step there will be formation of carbocation. Okay, so that carbocation is called the intermediate, and it is very much unstable. Okay, and then one nucleophile will be added, then you will get the corresponding product. So reaction intermediates are highly reactive species and generally cannot be isolated from the reaction mixture. Some important examples of these species are carbocation, carbanion, free radical, carbene and benzene. Okay, suppose if we think about the SN1 reaction, so generally tertiary halide will give SN1 reaction. Here in the first step there will be formation of tertiary carbocation. Okay, that will be very much stable. Okay, so this is one intermediate. Okay, and suppose you are thinking this type of diketone compound, these hydrogens are acidic. Here if you give one base like OH minus, it will abstract the proton, that will generate one carbanion like this. This is carbanion intermediate. Okay, and benzoyl peroxide, you draw the structure then you can understand. Here if you give the light or heat, then what will happen? This will cleavage or cleave. Okay, there will be formation of free radical. They are very much unstable. Okay, overall. So this is free radical, how free radical is formed. Next we will discuss carbene. Carbene you have no concept. That is why I am discussing the neutral group of atoms which contain a carbon atom with only 6 electrons, and its valence shell, out of which 2 electrons are unshared, are called carbenes, like methionine. Okay, this is one carbene. Dichlorocarbene, CCl2 dot. Okay, I can show you how carbenes are forming in Riemann-Tiemann reaction. Okay, when you are taking this chloroform to add NaOH, that OH minus will abstract this proton, and there will be formation of C minus, Cl, Cl, Cl. Then there will be elimination of one Cl, and you will get this carbene. Okay, that dichlorocarbene. Hope you can understand. So next we will discuss the because of their strong tendency to achieve an octet, carbenes are highly reactive and unstable. Okay, and they behave as electrophiles. Generally, there are two types of carbene. One is called singlet carbene, another is called triplet carbene. We draw the structure, then you can understand. This is the singlet carbene. Because here spin multiplicity 2s plus 1. Here one is plus half, another is minus half. Okay, so this will be 2 into 0 plus 1, that will be 1. As spin multiplicity is 1, definitely it will be singlet carbene. And another I can show you that triplet carbene. Here each this is sp hybridized, this is sp2 hybridized. So here each orbital, happen orbital contain one electron. So here total spin multiplicity will be 2s plus 1. That will be the plus half. One will be the plus half, another will be the minus half. Plus or minus 1, that is 2 into 1 plus 1, that will be 3. As spin multiplicity is 3, definitely it will call triplet carbene. So these are the reactive intermediates, and one more reactive intermediate is given, that is called benzene or arine. So benzenoid compound, aromatic compounds having a carbon-carbon triple bond are known as benzene or arine. In benzene, the two sp2 hybrid orbitals, because of their diverging orientation, overlap a very small extent to form the additional bond. Okay, and for this weak overlap, they are highly reactive. So benzene intermediate, I am showing you one example, then you can easily understand. Suppose if there is one leading group like chlorine and there hydrogen, and if you give base like NH2 minus, it will abstract this proton. Okay, then it will leave, and finally you will get a structure like this, and this is called benzene. If you see the structure, both are sp2 hybridized. Okay, but there will be weak interaction of this hybrid orbital. Okay, so this is called weak overlap. This is sp2 and this is also sp2, and this is called benzene. Okay, so these are the reactive intermediates of the gas. And next, there is different kinds of reaction: addition, substitution, then there is rearrangement. Okay, cycloaddition. So that will be discussed by other teacher. Okay, that is they were discussing. So today up to this. Okay, and next we will discuss different kinds of problem, and through your worksheet you will get the questions also. Okay, for practicing. If you practice, then you can easily understand the type of the procedure type as well as the type of questions may come in the exam. So thank you.